From the EPAWA headquarters in South Allentown, Pennsylvania, it's time for Weather Weeklies, an informative video of the ins and outs of weather that affect you most in the EPAWA coverage area. The following segment is a weekly video blog, and the opinions of the forecaster do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff of Eastern PA Weather Authority LLC as a whole, nor its constituents. Without further ado, here is meteorologist Bobby Martrich with Weather Weeklies.
Hey, good Sunday morning to you. Another edition of Weather Weeklies for Sunday, February 7th, and we're going to try to go through this pretty quickly today because we have a lot of things to do this morning. We're going to have to issue some type of first call on this system that's going to be affecting the area Monday night through maybe Wednesday. It's going to be a crazy system, just very light snow over a very prolonged period and coming in different waves. So let's get into our forecast table first, our long-range forecast table, and looking at the system that we're going to be dealing with over the next couple of days. This is this one here. Very low pressure tries to develop off the northern middle Atlantic coast Monday night into Tuesday, and that could produce some snow showers with an inverted trough setting up. Now we're seeing there might be a second low that might, according to the GFS anyway, might see a second low develop off the coast Tuesday night into Wednesday and bring another inverted trough. So I can tell you these inverted troughs are the most difficult thing to forecast. You get cutoff lows and inverted troughs. Those are probably the two most difficult things in meteorology to forecast. So if you're trying to make a map, then people are saying, well, why didn't you put out a first call on Saturday? Well, you're making a map just to make a map at that point because you really don't know. And to be honest with you, when it comes to inverted troughs, they could, once you get within 12 hours, you're pretty much figure out where that's going to set up because you can put it on a map all you want. If it's going to show up wherever it wants. Okay, so we'll get into that in this video here a little bit, and then the Clipper system is going to come through here and reinforce some cold air here around the 12th or so, and then we're going to have another time frame we're looking at for a bigger storm potential. That'll be the 15th to the 17th time frame, probably favoring the earlier part of that time frame, but time frame is showing. Where on the models and the ensembles a very a very large system that's coming out of the Gulf of Mexico and or getting Gulf of Mexico moisture with a high in place to the north. That's going to allow for some cold to be involved with the system, and like he lists here in the table, it has a potential to be a very big storm. So we'll keep an eye on that definitely. That would be the 15th to the 17th. This one here, not very big over a large area. One we're dealing with early this week, but some areas might get hit hard. I'll show you that. Okay, so we're going to have above average temperatures just through today, and that's it. After that, we get cold when the cold front moves through, and then we have this below average period for a very long time. 8th to the 21st he has on here. 8th to 21st, and actually you can keep that here. 22nd to March 1st, also below average he has. So pretty much to the end of the month is going to be below average. You're going to have some few days during the 20th that says he has here that's going to come to head back to near average before another cold shot comes back in, and then above normal snowfall. So we're going to have a very busy February, just like we expected. We're going to start with this early next week. Now some people are going to get discouraged, especially if you only get an inch or so of snow out of this, which is very possible for some areas. Some people are going to be discouraged, but just don't be. There's a lot of opportunity over the next month or so, for snow department. So if you didn't get it in one, don't give up. You got other ones on its heels. Here's the coastal miss on Sunday night. We said this on the Facebook page. This is very important. This system would have to miss in order to have a chance with this system behind it to come in here for Monday night, Tuesday, and maybe even hanging into Wednesday here. But this system is looking like it's going to miss. There's some speculation of whether or not we get some snow here along the coastal areas. I don't think here, not down here. It's a possibility maybe eastern sections of Massachusetts, maybe Rhode Island get clipped by this, but I don't think down here. I'm going to take that off the table for Delaware and South Jersey. Again, some people were saying that there are going to be several inches of snow along the Jersey coast here. I don't see that. This should stay very far off to the southeast and miss. But by doing that and for heading further east, it's going to allow this system to come in here and give it some room to develop. Now, here's the first system. This is going to be Monday night into early Tuesday. All right, so you have that system dropping down. Still get the 500 millibar low sitting back here in the Great Lakes, but you have one sitting right off the ocean here, right off the Delmarva here. Okay, now this is important because the first showing an inverted trough, and that's what this is right here. an inverted trough axis around this area of low pressure, that's where the enhanced snowfall will occur. So with the way an inverted trough works, you can think of kind of like a line of thunderstorms. You have sinking air on the north and south side of it. So when you're in this band, you're getting it good. Wherever that inverted trough sets up, you're getting it good. North of that band, not so much. South of that band, not so much. You have sinking air on either side. You might just have flurries or nothing at all on the north and south side of it. So where that inverted trough sets up is very critical to the forecast. So you see why we've been waiting here to do the call, because it's been all over the place. The GFS has had it up here over northeastern PA at one point, and yesterday was out here, now it's down here. That's where everything mostly is. So we think as far as Monday night, Tuesday, I think we have a good idea that the heaviest is going to be across south central areas, south central PA, maybe into northern Maryland, maybe into South Jersey here. But as you go forward in time, you see that we looked at Tuesday night, we have 3 lows here, 3 lows involved. You got one here, you got one here, and this is the one that was just in the previous frame right here. It's now out here. Okay, so you got 3 coming in here. Here's 1, 2. 2 is going to come down to a position right down here. That might set up an inverted trough over eastern sections. Here it is in the next frame. Still got this one up here, and now you have this one down here. The other one's off the picture now. But it shows another inverted trough setting up over here, more of our central areas here, and this would be Tuesday night. So this is a possibility the GFS is showing, also shown on many of the ensemble members. So, but the only problem is no other model has anything for Tuesday night and Wednesday, or at least not Wednesday. This has this going into Wednesday here, and actually show you the next frame here. Here's Wednesday morning, still an inverted trough with this showing this thing's moving off to the northeast, but now this system that was hanging back is now moving out in this direction, so it'll be slowly improving from southwest to northeast here. But the point is, the GFS has this going all the way into Wednesday. That's why you're seeing it so aggressive with snow totals across a very large area. Not sure if I want to buy the aggressively high totals, but the European model really has the best snows kind of like in these areas right here. Okay, and up here it really chips you as far as total snowfall. Again, where that inverted trough sets up is where you're going to see the best snow. The Canadian model kind of takes it right across these central areas here, but keeps it lighter, not as aggressive as the European model. And the NAM just keeps kind of light for everybody. Nothing really much in Jersey. Just keeps kind of a light snow in this area here, and nothing out in this area around here on the outside. So, we have a lot of things to go through this morning. We're going to wait for the 12Z runs of the models to come out with a forecast, because there's just so many moving parts and so many different things going on here that and not a lot of agreement before we commit to anything. So I know it's kind of a late first call, but we'll have it out this afternoon. This will be before the big game this evening, so plenty of time to prepare for that, cook for it, and whatever you're going to have. You're going somewhere for for any parties or anything like that. But we will have it out probably say maybe 4 o'clock or thereabout. But we'll have to see how that works out with our timing. But we're going to get into leave this storm alone. We'll get into this more detail once we get the first call out today, and we'll go from there. Here is the stratosphere. Look at the current stratosphere image here. Now this is where you don't want it. This is where this is where the polar vortex is located. This is the stratospheric polar vortex sitting over top of the North Pole. Now you have these warming episodes that warm against it. It's going to push against it like in this manner right here, and it could cause a split. Now we're waiting to see if that happens here. Here's the split starting to happen as this warm air is working in to the middle here. So you would have one piece here and one big piece here. If it's split into 2, you're set up through March with high latitude blocking. You are completely set up through March with the high latitude blocking. So we're going to get a piece of that this week. We're going to get a piece of the polar vortex, but it's going to be a tropospheric polar vortex. It's going to set over our area from right around from the time this system this week passes. So right around the 10th or so, and it'll last through about the 15th or 16th. And then we start to moderate a little bit back to near normal, and we might have another shot of cold air coming behind it. What does high latitude blocking do? Well, you got the blocking over the high blocking over Greenland. That allows a cross-polar flow, especially if you have a split polar vortex. It's going to keep the cold air coming and keep these systems rounding the base of the trough where you're going to get these snow chances not only through the rest of February, but this would last in March if this does in fact split. The polar vortex splits into two. If it does not split and just displaces, then it becomes more temporary unless you have another stratospheric warming episode to help that along. Okay, so let's get into the Madden-Julian Oscillation real quick. We are projected to start heading into more favorable phases here. Now, when you're in a positive ENSO right now, which is a El Nino, when you're positive ENSO, these stages right here in phase 4, normally for phase 4, phase 5 are warm, but they're not too bad. Not too bad. They're neither good nor bad. Okay, once you get into phase 6, it starts getting into cooler phases here. These start getting a little bit better, and then you get your cold phases over here. So it's heading into that direction here. It's going to take some time, so that's why we think this only goes through the 20th of February. Already has a favorable cold phase in phase 7, which is getting back to dateline forcing. If that's the case, after that, you get the blocking going on. Along with any stratospheric warming events, you're going to get set up here beyond February 20th as we go all the way into the month of March. And we think that's going to end up happening. We've always had that idea that the month of February is going to be pretty wild, colder than average, above normal snowfall. Same thing for at least the first half of March. So everything's still looking on schedule with that. Of course, here's a look at what a phase 4 and 5 MJO does. Center of the cold is just in the center of the country. Okay, but we're already seeing that this week. This really doesn't matter. The MJO is really not running the pattern because this is a tropospheric polar vortex is going to be centered here instead, and we're going to get some pretty cold air in this week coming up here. So again, is the MJO running the pattern right now? I don't really think so. Not really strong enough a signal in phase 4 to really run the pattern and run the show. So there's other factors that are mitigating that. So we keep showing what it is. Everybody always asks us what the MJO is doing. Oh, we're worried about a phase 4, phase 5 here because it shows a warm signal. Well, it's not going to be warm this week. So, but by the time we get into the really, really cold stuff, we're getting into the more favorable phases anyway. But here's a look at that coldest shot of the year is what I'm calling this here, because this is a look at just about 7 to 8 days out, and this is showing February 14th to 15th time frame, and here's some really serious cold here. This is in degrees Celsius below normal, so we're talking about 10 to 12 degrees Celsius below normal. So you're talking about 20 degrees below normal temperature. So you're going to have highs that are probably not getting in the teens here for a couple days, single digits below zero, lows for a couple days in this stretch. So that's not going to be out of the question. We're going to be looking at that this upcoming weekend. It might be overdone, and if it is, it's only going to be slightly. So you're still talking about some very cold temperatures regardless, even if this doesn't work out. But the models and the ensembles have been all over this for quite some time. Now we're getting the next big storm threat. That's going to come here like we had in the long-range table. Next big storm threat would come in the time frame of the 15th to the 16th, it looks like. And that's a system coming up from the south here, if it does phase, it comes up the coast, gives you a big snowstorm possible, and that would be, it has really good potential with the high over the top of the system, and then this a very moisture-laden system coming from the south. So very good time frame. Again, this is a very good chance. We've outlined chances very well as we go on into when we looked ahead in these videos and in both in a long-range outlook as well. We look at these signals out, and that's all they are. They're just signals. This is a signal. This is day 10, so this is hour 216. This is out quite a ways. All right, so the specifics of this, you don't want to pay attention right now. We're just looking at storm signal, and the setup and the very signal and setup would suggest that we could have a bigger system right here around the 15th, 16th time frame, maybe even 17th if it winds up being a little bit slower. But we will follow that as we do with every system in the EPAWA forum, and you can subscribe to that by clicking on the image couple below this video here where the My Pocket Meteorologist image. Also have weather models where you can take a look at this, our own EPAWA models, where you can look at not only synoptic information but also snowfall maps. You can look for just specific for our area. Select the EPAWA coverage area maps. You can get snowfall expected for just this area. So do check that out if you haven't already, and you can definitely use that for the next couple systems. We're going to have a parade of systems here. It looks like we're going to have a system every week, or maybe even more frequent than that. Maybe look like we have a clipper here coming in here between these next two systems. So definitely just pay attention because there's going to be something going on every 3, 4, 5 days here. So that plenty to keep us busy in the meantime. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is this edition of Weather Weeklies for February 7th, 2016. We'll see you again next week.